Hello, this presentation is intended for students who are planning on transferring to a California State University campus. If you're brand new to the transfer process, we recommend you go back and watch the basic transfer requirements video, and there's also a number of other videos on our YouTube channel that will help you through those basic parts of the transfer process. And so this is for students that have already understood those basics and are ready to go and know that they want to transfer to CSU. Some of the things we'll talk about today are we'll go over a brief admissions requirements refresher, then we'll talk about major preparation, campus and major impaction, associate degrees for transfer, and the application deadlines for the CSU. Going back over the admissions requirements quickly, you'll need 60 CSU transferable units, 30 units of GE, all with a 2.0 or better, and then you'll have to complete the courses from at least 4 areas. So that's areas A1, A2, A3, and B4 on the CSU GE sheet, and those are 2 English classes, a CSU transferable math, and a public speaking course. Again, you have to have a minimum GPA cumulative of 2.0. As we'll talk about in a moment, some campuses or majors may require that you exceed those requirements in order to be admitted to the campus. So let's talk a little bit about major preparation. All majors are going to have courses that you should take prior to enrolling there at the four-year university level. These courses will allow you to more quickly move into your upper division curriculum, since you'll have already taken those courses at Solano rather than at the four-year institution. We always encourage you to complete as many courses as possible because, again, not taking these courses while at Solano can extend the amount of time you'll need to be at the four-year institution because you'll have missed requirements that you need to take in order to progress in your major. Assist.org will list the major preparation courses and any requirements other than the major preparation coursework you need for your major. So that could be GPA, courses that are required versus recommended, which we'll go into in a little more depth in a moment, but you'll want to use assist.org to determine which classes to take. And again, even if the classes aren't required for admission to the major, we strongly recommend that you take most, if not all, of those courses. So what is Impaction? Impaction means that a campus or a major has more applicants than they can accommodate for admission. So some majors, let's use Sac State as an example. Sac State's business major is very popular, and they have more applicants that apply to that major than they can actually accept. And so they have a finite number of spaces that they can allow students to enroll in. And so they have some requirements above the basic admissions requirements that you have to complete in order to be admissible to the major. And even completing all of those requirements doesn't guarantee admission into that major. And so often you'll be ranked by your GPA or how many major prep courses you took. Some campuses take into account whether you've completed an associate degree for transfer, which we'll talk about in a moment as well. But all of those things can be factors in whether you're accepted to an impacted major. Some entire campuses are impacted, and so that means that there's requirements above the minimum for all majors on that campus. They also have something called local area impaction, and that means that a campus will prioritize students that are applying that are within their local area. And so for us, that means if you're looking, say, at San Diego State University, it's going to be very challenging to get in as a Solano student because they're going to first look at all of the applicants from their local area. And so be aware that some campuses will also be impacted in that way. And so you can have campus impaction, local area impaction, major impaction. And so In these cases, it's important to be as competitive as you possibly can, again, by completion of your major prep, having a really strong GPA, and maybe completing an associate degree for transfer. Speaking of the associate degree for transfer, these are select majors that guarantee admission to the CSU system. So this can be a little confusing, especially if you're aware of programs like the UC tag agreements. These are not the same. So it guarantees you admission to the CSU system, not to a specific campus and not to a specific major. So it theoretically is possible that you complete an associate degree for transfer, but are not accepted to any of the campuses you apply to. But because you completed the associate degree for transfer, they can offer you admission to a different campus. And so as long as you complete that degree, you're guaranteed admission to the system. But it's also why we encourage you to pick a broad range of schools to apply to, because in that case, you may be redirected to a campus that you're not as sure you want to go to. And so applying to more than one school will ensure that you're more likely to get into a campus that you want to attend. Sometimes an associate degree for transfer can provide an admissions boost for impacted majors. And so sometimes a campus, if they see that, let's say you're trying to get into a communication major that's impacted, and they have a GPA cutoff that you'll need to reach in order to be admitted to the major. So if you complete the associate degree for transfers, sometimes a campus will give you a 0.1 boost in the GPA for the admissions process. So that isn't everywhere, but some campuses will do that. Completion of an associate degree for transfer also guarantees that you won't take any more than 60 units as long as you're entering into a matching major, and I'll talk a little bit more about that at the CSU. And so once you complete that degree, you're guaranteed to complete your 4-year degree with only 60 additional units. And so going back to matching majors and campuses, if you go to the website adegreewithaguarantee.com, you can see whether your major is a match to that specific campus. So just because you complete our anthropology associate degree for transfer, it actually doesn't mean that it will necessarily fulfill the requirements to be a matching major at another campus. And so you want to make sure that when you're looking at schools, you see whether your associate degree for transfer is actually a match to that school, because often they are, but it's possible that there's even certain concentrations that aren't necessarily a match. And so that's something you want to check out, because you may not get the get benefits of the associate degree for transfer, such as not needing to take more than 60 units or maybe not receiving the GPA boost. And so it doesn't mean you can't apply to a non-matching major. Like, you're totally welcome to do that. It just means some of those benefits may not exist if you choose to apply to a non-matching major. So please don't let that stop you. You're totally welcome to apply, but just want to talk about the limitations of that, those benefits. And so you can use the Solano catalog to look at which associate degrees for transfer that we offer. And again, finding those matching majors and campuses using the A Degree with a Guarantee website. So application deadlines for CSU, for the fall term, November 30th is the application deadline, and for the spring term, August 31st is the application deadline. There's a few campuses in the CSU system on the quarter system, and those applications are due for the winter quarter, which is that January start, by June 30th. When you're ready to apply, you can visit the Cal State Apply website. The link is listed here. I just Google Cal State Apply, and the website will come up. You select that you're a transfer applicant, and that way you're able to begin your application. Check back on our YouTube or check the Transfer Center events calendar to see when we're holding application workshops or to look for video tutorials. We're happy to help through this process as it can be complicated. Please direct any additional questions you have about transferring to CSU to the Transfer Center by emailing transfer@solano.edu. Thank you.